It's crazy. I've been talking the whole time and didn't even hit live. But I mean, gonna go over again. Technically, I was actually in a space and I was talking to this guy, and he was telling me some things that was, rather disturbing, you know. And the biggest thing, I have a boy, I have a I have a son, I have a daughter. I have more boys than I have girls. But my thing is, if I'm gonna be for the young black man, I'm gonna also be for the young black girl as well. If I'm gonna be for the young man, I'm gonna be for the young lady as well. Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, if I have a son, he has to be raised properly to move in society. If I got a daughter, she has to be raised to move properly in society. Because at the end of the day, the kids are the future. No matter what we say, no matter what we call it, no matter how we move. So speaking to the young black men, I'm for men all day. I'm a man myself, but I'm also for the young ladies too, because who are my sons going to marry? You know, what other young man needs a wife then my daughter is there? That's the key. We have to put focus on our kids, not just the boys, understanding that the boys need more focus and development to be pushed in society, but that doesn't take away from the young girls. Who are these men going to marry if we're putting too much focus on the boys and not enough focus on the girls? We have a whole bunch of successful men, educated, powerful, and ready to marry and know when to marry. We already have this issue now with the women in the community now. That there are young men that want to get married, but to their degree, there's women that's not approachable for marriage. So we have this issue in the community now, but the main focus is the guys who have daughters. Are you pouring enough information into your daughter? Honestly, I don't want my daughter to get played left no kind of way. But to the degree, she's grown, 23 years old. I've given her so much. If she's willing to learn and ask for the information, I'll give it to her all day. My sons, 21 and 11, twins, 11. The information, the twins are going to get it regardless because they're young. My 21-year-old, me and this guy have a awesome relationship. I talk to him all the time. He's getting ready to join the Navy, going to pay for his school, up in his career, which he should have did when he first went into college. But the point of it was listening to everybody else. And just like I told him, you're behind the eight ball because you chose to, deal with other people and take their advice. And honestly, that's my stepson. So, whether it been his dad, whether it been, some other family member that was giving him advice not to go into the military. And what did he do? Circle back around to what I told him to do. Go into the military. The crazy part is, you got to learn one way or another. He see life. He went to college. He did 3 years of college. And now since the pandemic, everybody's doing web. And, he was supposed to actually go back this fall because he took the winter off. So he's going to go back this fall and actually go back into college because he wanted to make him some money. When he was down in Valdosta, he was actually working two jobs and, it was easy to him. And when it came around, he moved back up here closer because he was going remote. So why did he have to get a place? He had his own place, renting a place down there. And the crazy thing, the boy was a hustler. He had a place he rented for like $600, and he turned around and was renting out the rooms for I think $300 or $400 or something. I think it was like four or something. Yeah, he had a roommate and he was renting out for 400. And then he turned around and got another roommate, and it was a two-bedroom. So he rented out the other room for 200. I mean for 400. So basically, he had like both rooms rented out. He was getting eight, and he said he was pocketing like two and some change. And basically the two and some change because I think no, it was somewhere around, but I know he said all the utilities came out to that, and because he was right out some small time, but basically he didn't have to pay nothing out of pocket, and he was getting paid two every month plus the work he was doing at his job, and he was just like, yeah, I'm balling now, I'm balling. He went and got him a brand new car, which I advised him don't do, and he got screwed a little bit in that deal, but at the same time, he got a brand new car. And that's the thing. Like I told him, I say, you time and time again, you keep stepping on that line, and I'm telling you. But that's the good part of him doing it now. And I like that he's doing it now to experience life, to have an understanding that I don't know enough. You know, it comes to a degree, kids want to be grown and they try to follow that path in which other kids are teaching them. And, basically, that's why I want to have this talk too. It's not just adults and the parents giving bad information. The kids are giving it as well because they don't know. They're teaching their friends what they know. Then you have parents that don't know anything and they're teaching the kids the stuff that they know. You know, I mean, just honestly having a situation to where it's structured for a child to just be perfect, it depends on the child, you know. It depends on the child. That child has to have a mindset to move a certain way. But I mean, the craziness, like I say, within the community, you have the older gentlemen that are giving false information, some of them. But then the ones that are giving the good information, nobody wants to listen to because their delivery is harsh. Their delivery hurts, their feelings, but it's not to be graceful. The truth hurts, no matter how you take it sometimes. The truth hurts when a situation comes and you have no other option but to do the right thing. I know a guy actually, funny story, he stole a car, got into a car accident, and his conscience made him go back to the scene and make sure the lady was okay, that he hit her car. And just so happened when he was getting ready to get in the car and ride out, because his conscience is make sure that the lady, because it was raining, the lady car spit out, hit the curb, jumped over the curb and stuff, hit a pole or hit something. But to the degree where his conscience made him go back and make sure the lady was okay. And just so happened, a police officer was right in the plaza and seen the whole thing happen. He was getting ready to pull out. He sat there for about 5 minutes. I guess I don't know if it was on the phone or something, but he said he sat there. He was just about to pull over there and talk to the lady when he came back. The guy came back, and I was just laughing. I'm like, dude, you got away with it. They would have never knew it was raining. Even if cameras caught, like the police, he didn't catch the tag. He was in it. He was at a distance. All he caught was the car, and you know, it was dark. It was at nighttime. But his conscience brought him back. Not too many, not too many people that move like that. He actually stole the car, got a conscience. They just doing it to do it. If it happens, it happens. Bangkok. But I mean, he had a good mentor. This guy had a good mentor because he came back to the scene, made sure the lady was okay. A lot of people won't carry that same energy. You know, this guy was taught well. You know, same applies to, in this space that I'm starting to see too much of. And now I'm starting to see the flip in family. Honestly, I see too much going on between the man and women. It's the desire to be right. Yes, we know women and their behavior acts like this now, but that doesn't excuse the men and their behavior. You know, true, there are a lot of women that are ratchet, and true, there are a lot of men that, scandalous, be getting over on the women in the ultimate goal of having sex. You know, I hear a lot of time where women are taught to get over on a man, and I hear a lot of times when men give advances, to to get sex. I mean, shout out to Absalon. Me and Absalon connected yesterday and was talking about some stuff. Man, he's got a great topic he's gonna come out with. Like honestly, when it comes, man, I'm gonna be on the panel because this topic, I'm not even gonna say it, but this topic defines the relationships between people, you know. And honestly, I'm getting ready to cut off in a minute, but the money situation. Who's teaching the money to the kids? Who's teaching kids finance? If you don't know it, go go send your son or your daughter out there to learn the knowledge from somebody that that's well financially stable. You know, I could teach my son how to drive a truck. I could teach my son, how to budget certain things, but to a degree, when I want to get him more in depth, I'll send him to Alonzo. Alonzo will teach him financial literacy. If I want to have my son doing some hands-on craft work, woodwork and stuff, dealing with metal welding, I send him to my granddad. If I want to get one of my kids in IT like I'm doing now, I send him to my friend that works for the government. He does the networking system for the military, hospitals. Got another friend, he's a real estate agent. If they want to do real estate, my daughter just got her real estate license. The information is built upon the people you know. The knowledge is more important than the money because getting the knowledge can make you money. Having the knowledge with no money makes you lose money. A lot of people don't realize that. When you start going into business, ultimately, you got to have money to increase your revenue and keep your business going. But to a degree, you really, really, really need that knowledge to keep making money. So that's what should be taught to the kids, the knowledge. You know, what's good if I give you the old parables? Give a man a fish, he eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he can eat for a lifetime. And in most cases, everybody's steady giving fishes instead of teaching them how to fish. That's the crazy part about it. Crazy part about it. Shout out to Gold P in the building. He's about to get ready to come up next. So, shout out to everyone that's still in the building. You know what I'm saying? This is Gold Professor's channel. I'm dropping in and I'm about to actually be out because he's coming on at 8:30 Eastern time. So shout out to him. And basically, man, like I said, I keep having this desire to just leave this space, delete the channel, or just keep it up, but mainly delete certain things and just focus on the money. Because my understanding that I'm starting to see now is no matter what's going on, if I'm not pushing the money to try to keep people informed on that, because like all this gender stuff, at the end of the day, it's redundant, man. I mean, it's a never ending circle. Men need to be productive just like women need to be productive. If I'm gonna teach my son something, I'm gonna teach my daughter something. My daughter's gonna marry a man, you know, pretty much. If it's a black man, I'm happy for it. But if it's not a black man, then so be it. Because at the end of the day, she needs to be happy. You know, when it come down to it, and my son, same approach. I want my kids to be happy. I prefer one thing, but if another occurs, I'm still good with it. Because at the end of the day, the legacy building is gonna be there. Teaching your kids certain things. You putting them in this vicinity. You having them around black people. You see the motions, the moving of great black people. You don't hate your race. Same thing with the women. If you're always around good women, you keeping that positive vibe, you good. I don't have no problem with no black women. Yes, I don't like their behavior. I don't like dudes' behavior. I don't like the way how dudes scam. But the thing is, like I always say, if I go after the women, I'm actually gonna go after the dudes as well because none of them are perfect. We're living in this whole faint society to where we're trying to push a narrative that's not even there. Yes, the women sometimes are ratchet, but the point of it is, who's forcing you to be with these women? Not one time have I heard any guy said, I have to be with a ratchet woman. Stop talking about them. Leave them alone. Same thing with these women. I tell these women all the time, when they start complaining about these men, oh, these men are dusty. These men are broke. These men ain't got no job. Well, why don't you go with a man who has a job? Well, he don't look the part. Well, don't complain. If you want the man that has everything, you go find him. If you can't find him, then don't complain. Because most of the time, that good man is probably married. Same thing with the women. Most of the time, that good woman is probably already married. And most of the people, I mean, honestly, between men and women, I can't understand why we pick the worst of the worst to identify as the one all be all. You'll pull somebody like a rapper that has a whole bunch of kids that take care of his kids and say, well, this is what y'all men do. Or we'll take a woman who has a whole bunch of kids in ratchet, Section A, like the worst of the worst. She got food stamps, she ain't got no job, and all this about this. And the women, that's not every woman. There's a lot of great women online in this space. I mean, honestly, most of the women that are online that, with the same mindset as you, why guys are not talking to them? It's that approach. Most guys can't approach women. It, if you can't do it offline, you're definitely not going to do it online. I mean, honestly, in most cases, some of these dudes need to go to the line and get some courage. Some of these women need to settle down. Cut with the craziness. A woman can be desired at any level. whether it be ratchet, sophisticated. At the same time, they need to focus on what's real. Teaching the next generation. Honestly, given some of these women lost out. It's not enough men to go around. So some of these women just have lost out. Same thing with the men. There's not enough good women out here. So most of you guys will lose out. The best thing is to do is to teach the next generation in positive light. Just because you had a bad outlook, don't push that on the next man. I hear so many men telling guys not to get married. That's not the option. You tell the men to find a woman with certain criteria. If you don't find that woman, then that is your option. I hear so many men in this space telling men not to get married. You failed at marriage or you failed at finding a mate. Don't put that on the next man. Don't put that on these young guys. There's a lot of stuff behind that I want to speak on, but don't put that on these young guys. Let them experience life like you did. You had your woes. Most of these guys, they done had their fun to where they ran through a whole bunch of women, and now they want to settle down, and that woman is not approachable right now for them. You're at an older age where you have all this money and young girls don't want you, dude. Same thing with these women. You done ran through guys and had your fun, had all your kids. Now you're at an age where you're not desirable. Teach your kids not to go through the same woes as you. The biggest thing, and I'm gonna get ready to go because go pee on, is this. Your child should be elevated. I'm never like understanding this new generational mindset is killing me. These millennials do not want to see their kids succeed. And some of the boomers as well. Just do not want to see their Gen X's do not want to see their kids succeed. Far as I'm sorry, not the boomers, but the Gen X's. Like the boomers and all, they wanted to uplift their kids. Most of them wanted to uplift their kids to be better. If I was a bank teller, I want my son and my daughter to own a bank. That was the desired thing for a child to always be better and do better than their parents. This new generation, like they thrive on the failures of their kids because they want to be known as the top in the family. They want to have the more success story than their kids. Like, I don't get it. Like, to have your child giving them bad information on the premise of the vanity of you always being the hierarchy in the family. Well, I went to college, my kids went to college, I got married, my kids, they not getting married. They can't get the total package. I don't want them to be in a relationship and last longer and better than mine. It's absurd, man. We got to do better, men and women both. Until next time, like always, we here and we gone.